Hello YouTube, today we are going to be installing a pair of front brake pads for a 2010 Subaru STi that's outfitted with the Brembo brakes. This will work on other applications, sort of the G35s, your G37s, even some Volvo and Porsche applications. As you can see, I have a picture here of all the different tools you're going to need for today. Everything from wrench to get your lugs off, lug key, flathead screwdriver, a shop rag. One of the crucial things you will need is a 5/32 punch, and then also a jack stands, and needle nose pliers. So without further ado, we'll kind of get started with the install. What you're going to want to do is take the lug key and a wrench and take off all the different lugs to get the wheel off. Once we have the lugs loosened, we then want to take the vehicle and using a jack and jack stand, jack it up into the air so that we can then access the brake caliper. Once again, always be sure to use a jack stand when you're working on your vehicle. Definitely something that it's better safe than sorry. So yeah, once we have that jack stand in place, I'm going to lower it back down just a little bit just so that jack is secured, but keeping the jack up as well. From there, I'll go and remove all the different lugs and go in and remove the rim and tire combo and access the caliper. Now that I have access to the caliper, I'm going to start by removing the two cotter pins that are attached to the security pins. As you can see, I'm just using a flathead screwdriver and a little bit of leverage to pop those off. From there, you're going to take the punch that I mentioned earlier and use it to remove the actual security pins. Now is a good time to pop the hood, open up the brake reservoir to relieve the pressure from the brake fluid that you're going to be pushing back into the system. Now what I mean by that is you're going to want to take a towel and some pliers and use a little bit of force to push the brake pad back out towards the brake cylinder. Now what this does is it creates the piston backs up a little bit and allows you to be able to remove the pad. You want to do that on both sides so that you can remove the pad and gain access to the piston. From there, you can take your screwdriver and the same towel. What you'll want to do is gently apply pressure to back that piston back out. Now when you do that, it's going to push the other one forward. So you want to be sure that you kind of have something blocking or holding the other ones in place while you're removing or pushing the piston back in. Once we have the pistons completely out of our way, we're then able to reinsert the brake pads. One thing to note is the brake sensor that I just showed needs to be on the back side of the caliper. The reason for that is you can't see the back side of the caliper. As you can see, there is an arrow on that backing plate. That goes between the pad and between the caliper itself. Now you want to make sure the arrow is pointed up on both the front and back and it's securely. Now we can go reinsert the security pins that are going to hold the calipers in place. Once you put the first caliper pin, top or bottom, whatever your preference, you'll then go and put that tension bracket back in. Once that bracket's back in, put the other pin in and get everything secured. It might need a little bit of a tap to get it in perfectly. From there, you want to go and put in the cotter pins just to make sure those pins don't back out on you. Once you have all that reassembled, you're pretty much done. So you'll want to put the wheel and tire back on. you want to be sure to torque that down to the specified torque. Last time I checked, Nasiox said about 75 foot-pounds of torque. From there, you can then lower the vehicle back down and finish torquing off those wheels. And that's it. Once you have everything put back together, you have changed your brake pads. Well, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the comment section below.